The Defiant returned to New Haven 3 days later. The small colony spaceport was crowded with people waiting to help. When the rescued beings emerged from the shuttles, many colonists cried. They had not known there would be so many. Temporary shelters went up quickly. Dr. Kim organized medical teams. Other colonies in the sector sent supplies, food, clothing, medicine. Word had spread about what New Haven did, and people wanted to help. Taman stepped off the shuttle, injured but alive. Nari saw him and ran faster than she had ever run before. She jumped into his arms. He held her tightly, not saying anything. He did not need to. Vrax walked slowly down the ramp with Vera beside him. The young Thoraxian was nervous. She had only known slavery and cruelty. She did not know if she could trust this place. Then Nari walked up to her. The human girl smiled. "Hi, I am Nari. Your dad is friends with my dad. Want to be friends too?" Vera looked at this small human child who showed no fear, who offered friendship so easily. "Yes," she said quietly through her translator. "I would like that." But the mission was not over. Captain Han tracked Merchant Lord Vexoth to his private ship trying to flee the sector. She sent him a simple message. "You are under arrest. Surrender immediately." Vexoth laughed. His ship was fast and expensive. He thought he could escape. He accelerated away from the area. The Defiant fired. Not to destroy, but to disable. The shots were precise, surgical. They hit the engines and navigation systems. Vexoth's ship drifted helplessly in space. Human Marines boarded his vessel. Vexoth finally understood what he was facing. Humans did not just talk about justice. They made it happen. They enforced it. Even against powerful criminals who thought they were untouchable. Skarks and his Krell hunters were also arrested. They would face trial for their crimes. Vrax would testify against all of them. Justice was slow, but it was coming. A week after the rescue, Administrator Yuna Lee received an urgent call. She gathered Taman, Vrax, and Captain Han in her office. "We have a problem," she said, "and an opportunity. The news about what we did has spread across the frontier. Other colonies are reporting that enslaved beings are fleeing to human settlements. They believe humans will protect them." She activated a holographic display. Messages from dozens of sources appeared. Some were thank you notes from freed slaves and their families. Some were requests for help from other enslaved populations. Some were angry demands from corporations who profited from the trafficking trade. "The Galactic Council has issued an inquiry," Yuna continued. "Some members are calling what we did an act of aggression. They say we interfered in corporate business without authority." Captain Han snorted. "Corporate business? That is what they call slavery now? What do we do?" Taman asked. Yuna smiled grimly. "The human ambassador is making a statement to the council tomorrow." She asked if Vrax would testify. "His testimony, along with the evidence we gathered, will be presented to the entire galaxy." Vrax straightened up. "I will testify. I will tell them everything I saw. Everything Vexoth did. If the council wants to call that aggression, let them. I call it justice." 2 weeks later, Vrax stood before the Galactic Council via holographic link. Representatives from hundreds of species watched. He told his story simply and honestly. He showed evidence of the trafficking operations, the illegal weapons sales, the suffering of thousands of beings. When he finished, Human Ambassador Jiwan Song spoke. "The Council has asked what authority humanity had to take this action. I will tell you our authority. It is the same authority that any decent being should have. The authority to stop cruelty when we see it. To protect those who cannot protect themselves. To stand up for what is right." She looked at each council member. "If the council wants to prevent human intervention, then the council should prevent the crimes that make intervention necessary. Until then, humanity will act according to our conscience. We will do it again, and again, and again." The chamber erupted in debate. Some species supported the human position. Others opposed it. But nobody could ignore what had happened. Humanity had drawn a line in the galaxy. They would not accept slavery or trafficking. Not anymore. On New Haven, life slowly returned to normal. But it was a different normal now. The colony population had doubled with refugees. Beings from many species lived side by side with humans. Vrax applied for asylum. Administrator Lee approved it immediately. He bought a small piece of land near Taman's homestead. With his natural Thoraxian ability to work with minerals, he started a processing business. Taman helped him set up the equipment. Vera enrolled in the colony school. She was the first non-human student. Some children were curious. Some were nervous. But Nari took her hand on the first day and introduced her to everyone. "This is Vera. She is my sister. Be nice to her." The two girls became inseparable. They played together, studied together, and taught each other about their different cultures. Other children saw this and learned. Fear turned into curiosity. Curiosity turned into friendship. One evening, Taman and Vrax sat on the porch of Taman's house. They watched the sunset together while Nari and Vera played in the field nearby. The wheat was golden and ready for harvest. "I never thanked you properly," Vrax said. Taman shook his head. "You do not need to thank me." "Yes, I do," Vrax insisted. "You gave me my life back. You gave me my daughter back. You gave me hope when I had none." Taman watched his daughter laugh as she played with Vera. "You know what I learned from all this? Being strong is not about how much you can lift or how hard you can fight. Being strong is about standing up for others when they cannot stand for themselves." Vrax nodded slowly. "This is the human way. I understand now why other species both fear and respect you. You are not the strongest in the galaxy. You are not the smartest or the fastest, but you are the ones who care. You are the ones who act." Over the following months, New Haven became known across the sector. Other human colonies established refugee protocols. The Human Defense Fleet created a special task force for anti-trafficking operations. Captain Han commanded it, with Minho as a civilian advisor. Not all humans agreed with these actions. Some colonies refused refugees, worried about the cost and complications. But enough colonies embraced it that humanity's reputation changed across the galaxy. Beings who were oppressed began to see humans as protectors. Slavers and traffickers began to avoid human space. Criminal organizations learned that targeting species protected by humans was bad for business. 6 months after the rescue, Taman's homestead hosted a celebration. It was a combined human and Thraxian holiday. Many colonists came, along with several of the beings who had been rescued from the facility. Nari and Vera performed a school play together. It was a story about friendship across differences, about standing up for what is right, about family being more than just blood. Everyone cheered when they finished. Vrax laughed freely, something he never thought he would do again. Taman watched his expanded family with quiet satisfaction. That night, after the guests left, Nari asked her father a question. "Dad, did we save the galaxy?" Taman smiled. "No, we saved one person. Then we saved another. Then another. That is how you change the galaxy. One person at a time," Vrax, who was listening, added in his deep voice. "This is the human way. And it is a good way." Years passed. Nari grew up and became a doctor like Dr. Kim, specializing in xenomedicine. Vera joined the Human Thraxian Joint Security Force, protecting refugee routes across the sector. Taman continued his engineering work. Vrax worked beside him, the two of them inseparable friends. They trained other colonists, shared their skills, and helped build a community that included many species. New Haven became a symbol. Not just a colony, but an idea. The idea that different beings could live together in peace. The idea that protecting the vulnerable was everyone's responsibility. The idea that compassion backed by courage could change the galaxy. One day a new refugee arrived. A different species, frightened and injured. They had heard about the human who helped the Thraxian. They had traveled far to find safety. Taman, now older with gray in his hair, greeted them at the spaceport. He offered medical care, shelter, and safety. The refugee asked why humans did this. What did they gain? Taman looked back at his homestead. He could see Vrax working in his mineral processing plant. He could see Nari's clinic where she treated patients of all species. He could see Vera's security patrol keeping everyone safe. "We gain what matters," Taman said simply. "We gain family. We gain friends. We gain a galaxy where kindness is stronger than cruelty, where compassion is backed by courage, where no one is left behind." The refugee looked at him with hope beginning to show in their eyes, hope that maybe, just maybe, they had finally found a safe place, and they had. Because this was human space, and in human space, compassion was not just a feeling. It was action. It was protection. It was family. This was the human way. And the galaxy was better for it. Human Defense Fleet frigate Defiant arrived exactly on time. It was a large military ship, gray and powerful. Captain Soo-Hyun Han commanded the ship. She was known as strict but fair. Captain Han listened carefully as Taman and Vrax explained everything. She studied the data files about Vexoth's crimes. Her face grew darker as she read. "This is worse than we thought," she said. "Vexoth has been operating for years. Hundreds of beings enslaved. Weapons sold to prohibited zones. Multiple treaty violations." She looked at Vrax. "You witnessed all of this?" "Yes," Vrax answered. "I was part of his security team for 2 years. I saw cargo manifests. I saw shipments. I did not understand at first. When I did, I tried to leave." Captain Han made a decision. "I am authorizing a rescue operation. Officially, we are investigating illegal trafficking operations. Unofficially, we are going to free those slaves. Including your daughter." She looked at Taman. "I need your expertise. You have engineering skills and combat experience. Will you join the mission as civilian consultant?" Taman did not hesitate. "Yes." Before leaving, Taman said goodbye to Nari. She was staying with Dr. Kim during the mission. She hugged her father tightly. "Bring her home, Dad," Nari said. She gave him a drawing she had made. It showed their family: Taman, Nari, Vrax, and a smaller Thoraxian child. "So we can all be together." Taman folded the drawing carefully and put it in his pocket. "I promise to be careful." The mission team gathered on the Defiant. 6 human Marines, Taman, Vrax, Minho, and Dr. Kim. They studied holographic maps of the target facility. It was built inside an asteroid in neutral space. The facility had strong shields and many guards, but it was designed to keep slaves from escaping, not to defend against a military assault. Taman suggested a plan. "We use mining charges to create breaches that look like accidents. The guards will think it is equipment failure, not an attack. That gives us time to reach the detention level." Captain Han approved the plan. "We go in quietly. Get the slaves out. Avoid casualties if possible. But if you are threatened, defend yourselves." The Defiant approached the asteroid under stealth systems. A small assault shuttle launched with the team. They attached to an external maintenance dock. Taman worked quickly to bypass the security locks. They entered through service corridors. Vrax knew the layout from his time working similar facilities. He guided them around patrol routes. They moved like shadows, silent and careful. The detention level was horrifying. Beings from dozens of species were cramped in small cells. Many were injured. All looked hopeless. They had given up believing anyone would save them. Vrax searched desperately through the cells. His 4 eyes scanned each face. Then he found her. Vera was smaller than he remembered. 3 years of slavery had not been kind to her. She sat in a corner of her cell, alone and scared. She did not look up when footsteps approached. "Vera," Vrax whispered. She did not respond at first. Then slowly her head lifted. Her 4 eyes focused on him. She could not believe what she was seeing. "Father?" she whispered in their native language. Are you real?" Vrax tore the cell door open with his bare hands. The new implant gave him strength he had not had in years. He pulled his daughter into his arms. Both of them were crying. Taman gave them a moment. Just a moment. He understood what this meant. Then he touched Vrax's shoulder. "We need to move. We have to get everyone out." The team began evacuating prisoners. The Marines helped those who could not walk. Dr. Kim treated the injured as they moved. Minho organized evacuation routes. Then the alarms started blaring. Someone had discovered the breach. Guards were mobilizing. And worse, the Krell hunters were still docked at the facility. Skarks and his team had been waiting for an opportunity to redeem themselves. This was it. The rescue became a running battle. The Marines established defensive positions at key corridors. Taman rigged explosive charges to collapse tunnels behind them. Every second counted. Vrax fought beside his daughter. Vera, despite her trauma, showed the warrior spirit of her people. She helped other prisoners move faster. She refused to be a burden. The Krell hunters cut off their path to the extraction point. 3 professional killers against a rescue team, protecting hundreds of weak prisoners. The math was not good. Taman made a quick assessment. "Marines, take the prisoners to the secondary extraction point. I will hold them here." "That is suicide," Minho said. "You cannot fight 3 Krell alone." "I am not going to fight them," Taman replied. He pulled out several small devices from his equipment pack. "I am going to make them think twice about following us." He placed the devices strategically in the corridor. They were mining charges but reprogrammed. They would not explode immediately. They would create a pattern of controlled collapses. The Krell approached carefully. They knew humans were tricky. Skarx was in front, his weapon ready. Taman activated the charges. The corridor began to collapse in sections, not all at once. The Krell had to retreat or be crushed. It bought precious minutes, but Skarx was determined. He found another route and caught up to the team at the extraction point. He grabbed 3 young prisoners as hostages. Children from different species, all terrified. "Stop!" Skarx shouted. "Give me the shuttle codes or these children die." Captain Han's voice came over the communication channel. "I can order a precision strike, but there is a risk to the hostages." Taman stepped forward. His hands were visible and empty. "Let them go." "Take me instead," Skarx laughed. "You think I am stupid? You will try something." "No tricks," Taman said. He walked forward slowly. "I am a father. I understand what you are doing. You are trying to survive, but these children did nothing wrong. Take me." "Let them go to their parents," Vrax roared in protest. He tried to move forward, but the Marines held him back. Fira held her father's hand tightly. Taman reached Skarx. The hunter released the children. They ran to safety. Skarx grabbed Taman instead, his claws around the human's throat. "Now we negotiate," Skarx began. Taman activated the compact shield generator hidden under his armor. Blinding light filled the corridor. In the moment of confusion, Taman moved. His military training took over. He was not as strong as a Krell, but he was faster. He struck at weak points, joints, sensors, the breathing apparatus. He used the environment, every advantage he could find. Vrax could not watch his human brother fight alone. He charged back into the fight. The new implant worked perfectly. He moved like he had years ago, before the betrayal. The Marines followed. They fought not as individuals, but as a coordinated unit. Each person covered another's weaknesses. This was how humans fought when protecting others. The Krell hunters were skilled, but they had never faced this. Professional warriors fighting for payment against humans fighting for family. There was no comparison. Skarx finally understood. He was not going to win this. His team was defeated. The mission was lost. Vexoth would not pay them, and the human military was here. The facility security forces saw which way the battle was turning. They surrendered. No amount of payment was worth dying for. The shuttles loaded all the freed prisoners. 347 beings from 28 different species. All of them going to freedom. All of them alive because humans decided to act. Vrax held his daughter as the shuttle left the facility. Vera was crying, but they were tears of relief. She was going home. She would never be a slave again. The colony meeting hall was full of people. Administrator Una Lee stood at the front trying to keep order. Everyone was shouting at once. Some colonists were angry. Some were scared. The Krell hunters had made their threat public. "We should give them the alien," one farmer shouted. "Why should we risk our lives for a criminal?" "But what if he is not a criminal?" Another colonist replied. "What if the hunters are lying?" Dr. Kim stood up. She was respected in the colony. People listened when she spoke. "I have examined Vrax. Someone deliberately crippled him and left him to die. That is not how you treat criminals. That is how you silence witnesses." She activated a holographic display. "Vrax gave me data files. They show a merchant named Vexoth selling illegal weapons, bioweapons, chemical weapons, to both sides of multiple wars. Vrax was part of his security team. When Vrax discovered what Vexoth was doing, he tried to leave. His own team destroyed his spine implant. The hall went quiet. People stared at the evidence. Minho Choi stood up next. "I checked the hunter's warrant. It is issued by a corporation, not a government. That makes it questionable in human territory. They have no real legal authority here. So what do we do?" Administrator Lee asked. An old woman stood up. She had been one of the first colonists on New Haven. "My grandmother told me stories about Earth before humanity went to space. She said the most important thing is not how strong you are. It is whether you stand up for what is right. If we give up this alien to save ourselves, what does that make us?" Slowly, other colonists nodded. They were farmers and engineers and teachers. They were not soldiers, but they were human, and they understood what was right. At Taman's workshop, the night was quiet but tense. Taman had activated defensive shields meant to protect against meteor strikes. He had repositioned some mining lasers. They were tools, not weapons, but they could be used if necessary. Vrax sat in a corner, testing his new mobility. He could walk now, though not perfectly. The implant was working better than his original military one had. "You should let me fight with you," Vrax said. Taman shook his head. "You just got the implant. You need time to heal. And more importantly, I need you to protect Nari if things go wrong." Vrax looked at where Nari was sleeping in a protected corner of the workshop. She had refused to leave. "I will guard her with my life," he promised. "I know you will," Taman said. They did not have to wait until dawn. As the sky began to lighten, the 3 Krell hunters approached. They walked openly, confidently. They were armed with military weapons. They expected no real resistance from farmers. Taman stood in the doorway of his workshop. He was not armed, but his posture was that of a soldier. He activated the broadcast system so the entire colony could hear what happened next. "Human Taman Park," Skarks called out. "Surrender the criminal Vrax. This is your last chance." "Vrax is not a criminal," Taman replied. His voice was calm. "He is a witness to war crimes committed by Merchant Lord Vexoth." "You work for Vexoth, do you not?" Skarks hesitated. He had not expected the human to know that. "Who we work for does not matter," Skarks said. "We have a legal warrant." "A corporate warrant," Taman replied. "Not recognized in human space. And we have evidence of Vexoth's crimes. Evidence that Vrax witnessed. That makes him a protected witness under human law." Skarks growled. "You are one human. We are 3 trained hunters. Move aside or we will move you." Then another voice spoke from behind the hunters. "He is not alone." Minho Choi walked up with 12 armed colonists. They were not professional soldiers, but they held their rifles steadily. More colonists appeared from other directions. Not all were armed. Many simply stood as witnesses. Skarks looked around. He was surrounded. "This is foolish," he said. "You are farmers. You cannot fight us." Minho smiled without humor. "Maybe, but we are protecting our home. We are protecting one of our own. Can you say the same? Or are you just following orders for money?" The hunters shifted uneasily. They were professionals, yes, but they had taken this job for payment. They had not expected to fight an entire colony, and they especially had not expected humans to stand together like this. Administrator Yuna Lee pushed through the crowd. She held a communication device. "I have been in contact with the Human Defense Fleet. A frigate is en route to New Haven. Estimated arrival, 4 hours. They are coming to investigate reports of illegal mercenary activity in this sector." She looked directly at Skarks. "I am formally declaring New Haven a witness protection zone for Vrax under human law. Your ship has been impounded pending investigation. You are ordered to stand down." Skarks's eyes narrowed. This had gone very wrong very quickly. Vexoth would not pay for a failed mission, and now there was a human military ship coming. Fighting would only make things worse. "This is not over," Skarks said. "Vexoth has resources. He has allies. You have made a powerful enemy today." "Then he joins a long list," Minho replied. "Humans are used to powerful enemies." The Krell hunters retreated to their impounded ship. They would have to wait for the investigation. Skarks knew their mercenary careers were likely over. Vexoth would blame them for the failure. The colonists began to cheer. They had stood against trained hunters and won without firing a single shot. They had done it by standing together. Inside the workshop, Vrax had watched everything through the security screens. Nari stood beside him holding his hand. "See," Nari said. "I told you we would help." Vrax could not speak. He could only watch as dozens of humans, most of whom had never met him, stood up to dangerous hunters. They risked their safety for a stranger, for an alien they did not know. Taman came back inside. He looked tired but satisfied. "It is over." "For now." Vrax stood up. His legs were steady. He walked to Taman and placed one massive hand on the human's shoulder. "My people have a saying. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. You and your people, you are my family now." Taman smiled. "Welcome to the family, then." But their celebration was short. Dr. Kim rushed in with urgent news. She had been analyzing the data files Vrax provided. She found something terrible. "Vexoth is not just selling weapons," she said breathlessly. "He is trafficking slaves. Hundreds of different species. I found a manifest in the files." She pulled up a holographic list. Names and numbers scrolled past. Then she stopped on one entry. "Vrax," she said gently. "Your daughter is on this list. Vera, she is alive. Vrax stared at the screen. His daughter's designation number glowed in the hologram. Where is she? A facility in neutral space. But according to this schedule, she is due to be transported to mining operations in 3 weeks. After that, she will disappear into the system. We will never find her. Vrax looked at his hands. These hands that could now move thanks to human kindness. These hands that had held his daughter when she was small. 3 weeks, he whispered. I must go. I must try to reach her. Taman was already thinking, planning, his military mind working through the possibilities. You cannot do this alone. The facility will be heavily guarded. I will die trying if I must, Vrax said simply. She is my daughter. Taman looked at Nari. She nodded as if understanding what he was thinking. He turned back to Vrax. Then we have a rescue mission to plan, Taman said, and I know exactly who to call for help. The surgery took 6 hours. Dr. Kim worked carefully while Taman helped her. Vrax had to stay awake because the anesthesia could kill his species. He watched everything in a mirror, his 4 eyes focused and calm despite the pain. Dr. Kim connected the new implant to Vrax's spine at exact points. One mistake could kill him or leave him paralyzed forever. Her hands were steady. She had done many difficult surgeries, but never on a thoraxian. Activating now, Dr. Kim said. She pressed a button on the implant. Nothing happened. Vrax's lower body remained still. Taman held his breath. Had he made a mistake? Had the implant failed? Then slowly, Vrax's lower left hand twitched. Just a small movement, but it was there. Sensation returned to his legs. His toes moved. Vrax made a sound between a laugh and a sob. Tears ran from all 4 of his eyes. I can feel, he whispered. I can feel my legs again. Dr. Kim smiled tiredly. The implant is working, but Vrax, you need to rest. Your body needs time to adapt. Do not try to walk yet. Vrax looked at Taman. He tried to speak in the human language, forgetting his translator. Then he switched back. Thank you. I have no words in any language to express. Thank you. Taman put a hand on Vrax's massive shoulder. Rest now. We will figure out what to do about the hunters. But they had less time than they thought. That afternoon, a sleek black spacecraft landed at the colony's small spaceport. 3 Krell hunters stepped out. They looked like reptiles that walked on 2 legs, with sharp teeth and cold eyes. The leader was named Skarks. He went to the colony security office and spoke to Chief Minho Choi. Minho had been a soldier with Taman years ago. They were good friends. We are looking for this criminal, Skarks said. He showed a holographic image of Vrax. He is dangerous. He murdered several beings and stole valuable property. We have a warrant for his capture. Minho looked at the warrant. Something felt wrong about it. The document was issued by a corporation, not a government. That was unusual. I will make an announcement to the colonists, Minho said. If anyone has seen this alien, they will report it. Skark smiled, showing all his teeth. Good. We will search the colony ourselves as well. We have permission to search private property if we suspect the criminal is hiding there. Minho did not like that, but the hunters had legal documents. He could not refuse them. He sent a quiet message to Taman, warning him that trouble was coming. At Taman's homestead, Nari was visiting Vrax before school. She brought him breakfast and showed him her drawings. She had drawn pictures of different aliens from her school books. Do you have a family? Nari asked Vrax. Vrax was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. Yes, I have a daughter. Her name is Vera. She is about your age, though Thoraxian children grow differently than humans. Where is she? Nari asked innocently. My homeworld was conquered in a war, Vrax said softly. The conquerors made many of my people into slaves. Vera is a slave. I became a mercenary to earn money. I wanted to buy her freedom. But the work was bad. I saw terrible things, and now I can never return home. Nari took Vrax's huge hand in her small one. We will help you save her. My dad can fix anything. He fixed you, did he not? Vrax looked at this small human child and felt something he had not felt in years. Hope. Real hope. Not the desperate kind, but the kind that believes good things can happen. Thank you, little one, he said. You have a kind heart. That afternoon, the Krell hunters came to Taman's homestead. Taman met them at the front door. Nari was safely at school. Vrax was hidden in the workshop with Dr. Kim watching over him. Scarx showed Taman the holographic image. Have you seen this alien? He may be injured, he may have asked for help. Taman looked at the image carefully. His old military training helped him stay calm. He knew how to resist interrogation. I saw some movement in the forest 2 nights ago, he said. Past the valley near the river. Could have been an animal. Could have been something else. Scarx studied Taman closely. He noticed the workshop behind the house. What do you do here, human? I am an engineer. I repair machines for the colony, Taman said. You have military bearing, Scarx observed. Former soldier. Many years ago, Taman replied. I left that life behind. Scarx did not entirely believe him, but he had no proof. If you see this criminal, report it immediately. He is very dangerous. Of course, Taman said. The hunters left. But Taman knew they would return. They were professionals. They would search everywhere. That evening, Vrax tried to stand for the first time. Dr. Kim and Taman helped support him. The implant worked, but his muscles were weak from days of paralysis. Vrax took 1 step, then another. His legs shook, but they held. He laughed with joy. It works. Your human engineering works. You need to practice walking every day, Doctor, Kim said. Your strength will return. But their celebration was interrupted. The workshop's perimeter alarms triggered. Taman checked the security screens. His face went pale. The Krell hunters had positioned small surveillance drones all around his property. They were watching. They knew. A voice came over the communication system. It was Scarx. Human Taman Park, we know you are hiding the criminal Vrax. Surrender him by dawn, or we will take him by force. If you resist, we will charge you with harboring a fugitive. Your colony's safety depends on your cooperation. The communication ended. Silence filled the workshop. Vrax spoke first. You must give me to them. You have done so much already. I will not let you suffer because of me. No, Taman said firmly. Taman, they will hurt you, Vrax said. They will hurt your daughter. I cannot allow that. Before Taman could respond, Nari appeared in the doorway. She should have been in bed, but she had heard everything. She ran to Vrax and hugged one of his massive arms. No, she said simply. We are family now. Families do not abandon each other. Taman looked at his daughter. She was so small, but so brave. She reminded him why he had left the military. She reminded him what really mattered. He looked at Vrax, then at Dr. Kim, then at the security screen showing the hunters' drones. Then we make a stand, Taman said. His voice was calm, but hard as steel. Dr. Kim, contact Minho. Tell him what is really happening here. Tell him about Vexoth and the war crimes. Tell him we need help. He walked to a hidden panel in the workshop wall. He opened it and pulled out weapons and defensive equipment. Old military gear he thought he would never need again. We have until dawn, Taman said. Let us make them regret threatening my family. Vrax watched the human prepare for battle. This small being, so much weaker than any Krell hunter, was willing to fight for him. Willing to risk everything. For the first time, Vrax truly understood why other species both feared and respected humans. They were not the strongest or the fastest, but when they decided to protect someone, nothing could make them surrender. Outside, the night grew darker. The hunters waited, and dawn was coming. The sun was setting over the wheat fields when Taman Park saw something move in the forest. He slowed down the hover truck and looked carefully at the tree line. His 7-year-old daughter Nari sat beside him, humming a song from school. Dad, look. Nari pointed at the trees. Something is there. Taman stopped the truck. He had been a soldier once years ago before Nari was born. Those old instincts never left him. Stay behind me, he told his daughter. They walked toward the forest. Taman kept one hand on the scanner at his belt. New Haven was a peaceful colony world, but sometimes dangerous animals came down from the mountains. Then he saw it. Not an animal, an alien. A huge alien, bigger than any human, with skin like gray rock and 4 thick arms. The creature was dragging itself forward with its upper arms. Its lower body did not move at all. The alien stopped when it saw them. Its 4 eyes went wide. It raised one massive hand, not to attack, but in surrender. "Please," the alien said through a translator device on its chest. The voice crackled and sounded tired. "Please, don't hurt me. I can't walk. I can't run away." Taman stared. The alien was terrified. This massive creature, easily 3 times his size, was begging for mercy. Silver blood leaked from cracks in its rocky skin. Nari stepped forward before Taman could stop her. "Are you lost?" she asked the alien. The alien looked at the little girl. Something changed in its eyes. Maybe it saw her kindness. Maybe it reminded the creature of someone it loved. "I am dying," the alien said quietly. "Hunters are coming for me. When I am dead, please, tell my family where I fell. They are slaves on my home world. At least they will know I tried." "Dead?" Nari looked up at Taman. "We have to help him." Taman looked at his daughter, then at the alien. Every instinct told him to walk away. This was dangerous. The alien said hunters were coming. Getting involved could put Nari at risk. But he saw the hope in the alien's eyes when Nari spoke. He saw a father who wanted to return to his family. He saw someone who needed help. "What is your name?" Taman asked. "Vrax," the alien answered. "I am Thraxian. I was a soldier. Then a mercenary. I saw things I should not have seen. My employers, they destroyed my spine implant. Left me to die." Taman knelt down beside Vrax. His military training helped him understand. He looked at the alien's back and saw the broken device attached to the spine. Without it, Vrax could not control his lower body. "Can you trust me?" Taman asked. Vrax laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "I have no choice, but yes. The human child shows kindness. I will trust." "Okay," Taman stood up. "I am going to get you to safety. But you weigh more than my truck can normally carry. This will take some work." Taman was an engineer. He fixed machines and built things for the colony. Now he used those skills to modify the truck's cargo bed. He adjusted the hover lifts and created a flat surface strong enough to hold Vrax. Moving Vrax was hard. The alien weighed 400 kilograms, but Vrax helped as much as he could, using his powerful upper arms to lift himself. Taman was impressed. Even in terrible pain, Vrax tried to make the job easier. They drove back to the homestead as darkness fell. Taman took Vrax to his workshop, a large building separate from the house. It had strong walls and medical supplies for work accidents. "Nari, go to the house," Taman said firmly. "Get ready for bed. I will come check on you soon." "Is he going to be okay?" Nari asked, looking at Vrax. "I will try my best," Taman promised. After Nari left, Taman called Dr. Hyeji Kim. She was the colony doctor and his close friend. She arrived quickly, carrying her medical bag. Dr. Kim examined Vrax carefully. She had studied alien biology, but Thraxians were rare. Their bodies were based on silicon instead of carbon like humans. They were very different. The implant was deliberately destroyed, Dr. Kim said after a long examination. Someone wanted him helpless but alive. Probably so hunters could find him easily. Vrax nodded slowly. "I witnessed war crimes. A merchant named Vexoth sells illegal weapons to both sides of wars. He profits from death. I was part of his security team. When I understood what he was doing, I tried to leave. My team, they were loyal to money, not honor. They did this to me. How long does he have?" Taman asked. Dr. Kim looked sad. "Without a new implant. Maybe 3 days. Maybe less. His body is shutting down. I cannot do the surgery here. I do not have the equipment." Vrax closed his eyes. "Then I die here. I accept this. But please, when the hunters come, protect yourselves. Lock your doors. Tell them I died in the forest. Do not risk your lives for me." "No," Taman said. He was looking at the broken implant carefully. His engineer mind was already working on the problem. "No, you are not going to die." "Taman," Dr. Kim put a hand on his shoulder. "We cannot. I can build a new one," Taman said. He pulled out the broken implant and studied it under a bright light. "I have parts in my workshop. Industrial servos, neural connectors from agricultural drones, Medical interface chips. I can adapt them. Vrax stared at him. You would do this for me? We just met. Taman looked at the alien. My daughter asked me to help you. She believes you are worth saving. And I see a father who wants to return to his family. That is enough. That night, Taman worked in his workshop while Vrax rested. Dr. Kim stayed to monitor the alien's vital signs. Taman gathered parts from all over the workshop. He took apart machines and rebuilt them into something new. The implant had to connect to Vrax's silicon-based nervous system. It had to be strong enough to support his massive body. It had to work perfectly or Vrax could be paralyzed forever. Taman worked through the night. Coffee grew cold beside him. His hands moved with precision, guided by years of experience and old military training. He had once repaired battlefield equipment that kept soldiers alive. This was no different. As dawn approached, Taman held up the new implant. It looked rough, built from many different parts. But it would work. It had to work. Dr. Kim looked at it and slowly nodded. It might actually work. But Taman, this is dangerous. If something goes wrong, then we try again, Taman said simply. He looked at Vrax. Are you ready? Vrax's 4 eyes were wet with tears. I am ready. Whatever happens, thank you. Both of you. I had forgotten that kindness exists in this galaxy. Outside, the sun rose over the wheat fields. A new day was beginning. But far above the planet, 3 ships entered orbit. The Krell hunters had arrived. They were searching for Vrax, and they would not leave until they found him.